So CEPT is a university now. It started as a school of architecture in 1962, grew and started focusing on other than architecture domain. So now it's a university focused completely on built environment at almost all scale, from product design to interior to architecture, urban design, urban planning, and then some cross-cutting areas like transport and energy and structure design and so on and so forth. At the same time, where university is responsible for imparting training and education, we have a separate research center. They work with all faculty to conduct research in various cross-cutting areas such as energy, where I work, heritage conservation, water sanitation. So these are the research center which helps academics to involve in a research, at the same time generate some more knowledge. It's a small university in a manner, but quite focused on what we do, with a fantastic campus in middle of the city that helps us to connect with the people easily. Yeah, so I think in history of the city, immediately after independence in 1947, it's a time where Ahmedabad-based businessmen and philanthropy organization promoted by the businesses started promoting institutions in this city. So a lot of institutions which deals with the physical science or textile research or space science. So CEPT basically came around the same time when these institutes started coming up, promoted by local businessmen and philanthropy. And that's also a time where in modern architecture was sort of prevailing across the world. So the founder was influenced and he was part of these movement. So first building he designed having some of these modern architectural elements, and that's how the campus grew over a period of time. So now I think in a history of modern architecture, Ahmedabad and this university has a quite unique place. I am primarily, my role is to teach at the university. We have a postgrad program in building energy performance, which is housed in a faculty of technology. We get students from architecture background, mechanical, electrical, sometimes from physics background also. So my primary role is to teach, but at the same time I do get involved in a research center which is focused on building energy and communities, where I conduct research internally, externally with the national partners, international partners. So I have dual role, but primary role is to teach. Oh yeah, so I think if I step back and how did I came across EBC or IEA group, we did some work during 2011 and 14 about Indians' thermal comfort and developing thermal comfort models for India. And one of the advisor we had was Richard Didier, who was active in one of the EBC. So he invited me to be part of the EBC and working, I think it was EBC 69, NX 69. And one of the meeting which we hosted of the NX was here, very same building. I think it was 2017-18. So that's how I came across the EBC and then involved myself in other NX as well. Yeah, so when we started contributing, we found that it is one of the best place where we learn, at the same time we share knowledge. What we learn is research methods, how you conduct, how do you communicate, and how do you arrive at common platform. But at the same time, most of these research methods have been conducted in a developed country or the countries which has heating dominated buildings. How do you translate that to cooling dominated buildings or in a tropics? So that's how our interest grew. But at the same time, EBC has its own structure of involving people and institution. I'm very glad that EBC is very agile and recognizing the needs of various parts of the world, and India not being a signatory to some of those treaties. So slowly, I think other than India, a few other countries also started requesting EXCO to involve themselves formally. So I'm very fortunate that EXCO recognized that and allowed CEPT to become a limited sponsor, that we will be formally working with some of the annexes. I think Annex 87 was the first one. But that also gives us a segue to work with other Indian institutes and work with the Indian government eventually to become a full member of IEA EBC group. I'm hopeful that it will happen soon, because the kind of work which other institutes are involved with another annex, I think things will move a little faster now. Absolutely. It's one side is that it's a time to look at the collaboration, learn from others, but at the same time, we feel that how do you raise your credibility in terms of research capability? And the moment you start collaborating with people, people will recognize what you can do, where you are lacking, and you can sharpen your skills to move forward. Primarily to work with the students and make sure that the research capability increases across the country. So that's an added advantage being a part of the EXCO. Yeah, so I think during the NX 69, one of the tasks was to work on personal comfort system, PEC. So we worked on that. Then during the end of the NX, I think Bjarne Olesen of DTU started talking about having a full-fledged annex on personal environmental control system. Now it's called PECS. And so my role amongst the PECS is to work on review papers, compare the kind of research which has happened. One of the work which I did with my group here is to come up with the commonly agreed upon technical terminology. Over a period of last 20 years, various researchers have used various words to communicate same thing. But PECS is the area which is growing, and NX gave us opportunity to how do we really normalize and agreed upon terminology that when I say PECS, you also mean the same thing and I also mean the same thing. So that's an opportunity also for us to make sure that we speak common language with the common terminology. And I think the PECS also is a very interesting area where the fundamental is that you don't cool the buildings, or you don't cool the buildings in India, you provide a comfort to people. So it's a shift from perception, cooling the buildings, to comfort to a people. And that I think that can give us a lot of opportunity to save emissions, provide more personalized way of providing comfort to the occupant, whether it's a commercial buildings or it's a residential building. That's true. I think it's one side is that other annex who works on human-centric buildings. PECS also has a lot of importance on how do you really read occupants, how do you really provide controls to the occupants so that they can make themselves thermally comfortable or visually comfortable, or combination of this. At the same time, I think the technology does exist. One just needs to work with that existing technology to make sure that we reach to the PECS level. So I don't see a lot of work required to develop technology for comfort. It's there, one just needs to start working towards another scale, keeping the sociology, psychology of mind. Yes, I think what my personal experience suggests that one way where you can engage yourself in academics is to conduct research, supervise postgrad students or PhD students, write papers. But this is where the CEPT university uniqueness comes in. Yes, you do engage in the research work and publish papers, but that's not enough. If you change something on ground, if you change something in the practice or impact, that's where I think the university is very much focused about. And to do that, we need to do two things. One is to work with industry to come up with the products and systems. And other side, we have to work with the policymakers so that simpler things gets in the policy. Now, it's always a challenge that how do you translate the research papers or that wording into something which people understand at the policy level. And that's where the masterclass work or masterclass resources which IEA EBC has is tremendous useful. We keep going to some of those and actually work that, okay, this is where they say something like this. I have work here in certain wordings. How do you take this forward when you start speaking to the policymaker? So what I really like about it is not just academic research, but also how do you translate research which can change the policy as well as industry impact. So that's very useful resource for us.